around for the other view, but this one is just too nice not to share it. Have something they're working on. Anyways, I've decided I'm gonna hike down this way this time because I've gone like this way a few times now. Lupins. I do like lupins. Is dragging on the ground. I better do something about that real quick. Hold on. I do have one of my trekking poles out today. Got the other one as well, just in case. But I do find they really help with stability when you're hiking. And I'm not too sure how long the hike I'm gonna go on today. Just, I guess, until I feel like turning back. And maybe I'll go out onto the beach a little bit. I don't know, I'm not the hugest fan of long treks in the sand, as anybody who might have seen my video hiking in Bodega Bay area would know. Man, I was irate in that video about all the horses going where their masters told them to go, even though it was marked for their owners to not go there. I was mad at those darn horses, even though it wasn't their fault. I don't hate horses. I think my camera settings are making everything more blue than what they are, because I do see a cloud cover that is simply not appearing on my camera. I wonder what that sign says is going on, or why it's locked off the rope. Let's see. This is, native plant restoration. That's good. That's good. Horses come here too. It's good that their owners are over here, are not allowing them past the rope, because horses really do destroy stuff without meaning to, just because they're walking. They were really hell-bent on restoring the native plants. They'd get rid of those ice plants out there. I can't remember where ice plants are from. I'll have to look it up. I'm reasonably sure they are not native to California. I can't remember where they're from though. There's potentially a tidal pool down there. I wonder if there are any little animals, little ocean creatures in there, trapped, waiting for the tide to come in. Probably. I'll have to try to remember to go down there later on the way back so that we can check it out. A jogger off in the distance, so let's be nice and change views. There we go. told me it was cheaper to buy a house with a view of the ocean. Man. Of course, then when the tidal wave comes in, you've got a front row seat to the end. You know what I'm talking about. The big one. Gonna hike up to the 10-mile river. It's about 3.25 miles up from where I was, I think, from my campsite. So that's a sizable hike, I guess, but it's flat on this road, to my understanding. So it should be pretty easy, except, lengthwise, I guess. that view right there, man. Who knows? Maybe some of these people in these houses actually live there instead of just having them be as vacationing homes that they might mistakenly rent out as Airbnb only to have squatters steal their house. Since in California, squatting in somebody else's property and house is apparently completely legal. People are legally allowed to just squat in your house long enough to steal it from you. Yeah. Yeah. But crap like that is why the politicians here in California are in trouble. Because regular people past college age and college indoctrination are starting to notice what the heck is going on. I guess I could have brought the truck over here and parked over there for a shorter hike. See the ocean horizon a lot easier in my phone camera than with the naked eye. I think it adjusts for there to be more contrast. That's probably what's going on there, because the view in my phone is a lot more vibrant and contrasting than what I'm actually seeing. Just say no to porta potties. Although I suppose they are better than actual outhouses. There's a sign that says no dogs. I wonder how many people actually obey that. Probably not many. I've noticed people don't actually like to respect rules in spite of considering what the rules might be for. They like to instead act as if the rule only exists if they get caught. I mean, on the one hand, some of the laws that they've got on the books are really freaking idiotic, okay? But a lot of times there's a reason why the rule was made to begin with. In this case, I'm reasonably sure that the reason for the no dogs rule is because dogs kind of, well, they like to get into stuff. They like to go after small animals. They like to leave their poop around. Okay? And they are trying to rehabilitate the native plants in this area. See, here's a picture of what all they're trying to rehabilitate. You know, the poppy and baby blue eyes. I don't think I've seen any of the baby blue eyes. There's Howell's Spineflower, Menzies Wallflower, and round-headed Chinese houses. They all look like they're just lovely flowers. Hopefully, they can get them to come back. These right here, this green stuff, those are lupins. The lupins don't have any kind of problems. There's the wallflower thingies. I'll have to see about the baby blue eyes. Let's see. What are those right there with the light colored leaves? Maybe they're the round-headed Chinese houses? I don't know. These right here are poppies that just don't have a bloom on them right now. Well, I'm hoping that I get to see some of those baby blue eyes. Because I don't think I've seen any of those before. But this might not be the right time of the year for them either. Is that a cat? Oh, is there? Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's a bird? And I cannot tell what the heck it is. Maybe it's nothing. Nope. That. Huh. It's not a bunny. Maybe it's a squirrel. Maybe it is a squirrel. You know what I'm thinking? It is a squirrel. Yeah, that's a squirrel. It looked pretty big from far away. Hear that little peeping noise? There's a bird over there making that noise. Ground squirrels, when they notice a predator nearby, they live in their little squirrel communities because they are nymphomaniacs. And with ground squirrels, they make this god-awful screeching anytime there's any kind of predator nearby, to warn all of their little F-buddies to go to the ground and hide in their burrows. I'm at 100%. I'm gonna unplug this guy. we'll go back to close up. Gosh, they have to put signs freaking everywhere telling people, don't go to the beach this way, there's another path just a little bit away from here. Take that path, not this path. This isn't a path. Okay, so I have no choice but to go on to the beach now. The road has come to an end. Well, can smell the brine. Paths like this are one of the reasons why it's nice to have trekking poles, although I think I'm going to stop for a minute so that I have both hands available to balance. I'll be back in a few minutes. There might not be a path down this way because I don't think that I can make this. I don't think I can traverse this. I'm not buff. Well, I guess I'll just, you know, I definitely am going to have to just put the phone in my bag and get out my other trekking pole and see if I can go down this spot right here. Maybe. We'll see. We'll try it right there. It's not an insignificant proposition. Well, I made it down, so this is what it looks like from the bottom. I was up there, so yeah, I did slide at one point, and I know I've got a bunch of dirt on my bottom. Oh well. I had not actually planned to walk on the sand. Maybe I'll go out there where it's more hard packed by the ocean. I hope that is not the only way back up to that road that I was on. This section of the beach is not super picked over with, people taking the shells home. I don't know. I might have to either climb over the rocks over here. You know, there's a bunch of tracks, so you can probably get around that way. So I think I will do that on the way back instead of trying to go back up that spot right over there. Yeah. Oh, look at that. The seagull has caught a crab. It's carrying it off. Oh, goodness. That's awesome. See, they don't just steal people's food out of their hands at picnic tables. They catch their own food. Maybe the way to go is to take my shoes off. Yeah, I guess I'll do that. That'll be exfoliating on my feet. Oh no, I interrupted its meal. It's abandoned its crab because I'm scary. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and take off my shoes. Maybe that is the way to go. Okay. Gosh. Okay, there we go. And hopefully I don't lose my socks. Well, hopefully. I'll have to figure out how to attach those to my bag because I don't want to carry them in hand. So, I know that I said I was going to be starting to tuck my thermals, my pants into my socks because of tick bites. And I wasn't kidding, you know? So this right here is the Berluti nut. It's a double nut, but it's incorporated into itself. And if you yank on the right tie, it will do a quick release, but it's a double nut, so it stays put a lot better. There are my feet. Maybe I should put some sunscreen on them because I do not want my feet to get sunburned, because that will make any other hiking that I do extremely unpleasant. Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to attach my shoes to my bag real quick and get some sunscreen on my feet. I'll be back with you guys momentarily. Okay, I've got my sunblock on, so hopefully I don't get burned. Hopefully. Okay. Huh. Yeah, it was definitely a good idea to take those off. Just, it is way the heck freaking easier to get some stuff tangled up. See, I got lots of stuff. There's my shoes. There's my trekking poles. I've got my puffy jacket in my bag along with a rain poncho. Because when you're at the coast, you never know what it's going to be like. Am I the only one that thinks we're adorable when adults walk with holding their kid's hand? Where the heck are they? With their kid in between them like that? You know, that's adorable. Since I've walked barefoot anywhere. I don't even walk barefoot in my house. Teeny tiny pebble, you know. It's very coarse sand. Very coarse sand. Nope. Huh. I think that is the other adult that was with the person and child over there. They must have dropped something. I didn't see anything on the ground. Huh. I guess they only just realized it was missing. Must have dropped it a while ago. I didn't see anything. Hopefully they find whatever it was. I think there's a bunch of mussels in the sand over here that I'm walking over. And I swear I'm going by like crab remnants every few feet. These seagulls are talented hunters. My goodness. Huh. I wonder where 10 Mile River is. I don't trust my GPS to actually work to tell me. Okay. Dude, I swear, it's like little tiny crab parts. There's more right there. That is definitely like crab particles. These seagulls are talented hunters. Gotta keep your eye on the ocean or it'll drag you in. That almost happened to me and my cousin this one time when we were kids, the first time we went to the ocean. My cousin, he actually lived with us for a few years before I went into kindergarten. He was a couple years older than us. He lived with us for 2 or 3 years. I don't really remember very well. But yeah, my mom took us all to the ocean. I don't remember how old my brother was, but he wasn't really walking very well yet. So he stuck really close to my mom. But my cousin and I, we went straight for the waves like idiots. And he started dragging us in. Fortunately, a stranger that was also on the beach came to the rescue and grabbed me while my mom rescued my cousin. Yeah. Is it any wonder why I sometimes have a little bit of resentment towards my mom? Maybe. Now, in theory, she just went for the person that was closest, and so did the stranger. But I don't really remember it, so I don't know. My brother stayed right where he was. He stayed put. He was a smart kid. I admit, now that he's an adult, I do frequently question his intelligence. But I've got no doubt he does the same with me. The texture of the sand has changed. It's a lot more fine. Yeah, it's a lot more fine now. Calling that there is food. Maybe another one just came and swooped down and landed next to it. Maybe that's the seagull food call. I don't know. it got me. Now my feet are cold. I'm glad I didn't have my shoes on. It got me that time too. Okay, time to go back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, back to the pebbly sand. Or rather, coarse sand. I have seen actual pebble beaches where they're just little tiny pebbles about like that, about a quarter inch or so. Those are neat. There's a beach like that in Big Sur, but they also have a beach with purple sand, which is pretty phenomenal. If you've never been to Pfeiffer Beach or Pfeiffer State Park, for that matter, I definitely recommend. It is a must-see visit. You've got to go there at least once in your life. Just like Yosemite, you got to go there at least once. Although, going only once to Yosemite, you're not going to see everything. There's a lot to see in Yosemite. Not that there's not in Big Sur as well. Yeah. See everything at those places. You know, you got to have couple weeks, go out and do a big hike, you know, every other day at least, if not more than that, and then go to another campsite at the place so that you can explore everything near that campsite. In my opinion, one of the best hikes at Yosemite is the Vernal Falls Trail. I went on that with my son when he was young. I want to say 15 or 16. So, and it was phenomenal. We went in April, so it wasn't as busy as it is later on in the season, and I have no idea how things are working there now. I know there's been quite a few changes for entering Yosemite since COVID. Now people are really up in arms, like they're closing parks or some bull crap like that because of certain political things going on right now. personally, I think that is just hysteria. People just want to be hysterical about something, you know? I mean, is it really that outlandish that an employer that is suffering financial difficulties would say, hey, we can't afford to have any more temps. Full-time employees only. Bye, guys. I mean, in the private sector, they do that all the damn time, and people don't cry about it, except for the people that, you know, lost their job. I mean, they're having maybe not cutbacks at my job right now, but California's got some really god-awful ideas about taxing businesses. So these businesses have to make cuts because they're getting taxed up the wazoo by the state. It got me. It got me. Gosh, that was way political. This is a walk on the beach, not a political rant. Sorry, everybody. I say everybody when I don't not get a ton of views, and I like it that way. Inches of getting me beef. It came within inches. I'm like the only one this far out. My hike yesterday at Fern Canyon, I did go ahead and re-watch it, and place where I suddenly freaked out, and I was yelling "Oh bear" so much that the camera literally did not pick up the thing that freaked me out so much, because I had it, you know, facing myself for selfies. If I had had it facing the other way, facing out, the camera probably would have at least picked up the bush rattling like it did and shaking like that. But because of the way that I had the camera facing, it didn't catch any of that, and I was yelling "whole bear" so loud that the growling, it was not audible, unless other people are able to find it because they've got better equipment than me for audio. You know, I guess watching on the TV later, she might be able to tell that there's growling, maybe. But, I mean, thinking back on that incident, I'm really freaking glad that I retailed it out of there. I'm also glad that I rewatched the video of it because it happened in a different location than what I thought that it had happened. Because I didn't realize that it had happened after I had turned back from the fork in the trail and I was back on just a regular trail. But I mean, I was only back on the trail for like maybe 100 feet. So whatever was there was probably there when I walked by it the first time. Which, that's pretty freaking scary too. Okay, I am really sinking down into the sand now. Because I'm a little far up from the ocean, the water line right now, because I'm thinking of going and sitting at that rock. I don't know, are those houses or sand dunes up there? I think they're just sand dunes. But I'm a heck of a lot closer to those hills than what I was. I think I'm going to go sit over here at this rock. I don't know, that's a piece of wood, maybe. Maybe that's a piece of wood, maybe it's a piece of rock. We'll see. That is a big piece of driftwood. Look at this. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna sit and take a hydration break. Okay. Anyways, after my experience, on my way out at the gate, I went ahead and I stopped the truck and I talked to some park rangers, or maybe they're not park rangers, park assistants, I guess. I think they're the folks that work at the kiosks and take money aren't rangers. They're park assistants. So I stopped and I talked to a couple of them to ask if people normally find that part of the trail inhospitable, I guess. You know, and it's funny. Apparently, one of the assistants had hiked up that trail just the day before and right around the same spot as me. Right there, just, right at the fork. They had a bad feeling, and they said that they saw bear scat, so they assumed that it was a bear, and they turned back. There was no bear scat. I would have seen that if it was on the trail. Maybe they were off the trail a little bit, but there was no bear scat. And that definitely does not account for my very similar experience, except, no growling and shaking bushes that I had when I was on the Pygmy Forest Trail heading down to meet with the Fern Canyon Trail. I was getting really close to the junction where they met, and I had to turn back. I had a horrible feeling about proceeding any further, and sometimes you just really gotta listen to your gut, I was just so freaking busy with just being occupied by not knowing which part of the trail I was going on and talking to my phone, that I just wasn't really paying attention until I decided to turn back and head back the other way. It was back when I was on the main trail that happened, so I just walked right by whatever it was. On the beach with me, so I'm going to let go of some water here. Yep. When I talk to those rangers, and I told them, about that, okay? The first thing they said was, nobody ever makes it that far on the trail. Nobody goes that far. I mean, it's a nice hike. It's a gorgeous hike. So I don't know why the heck nobody ever makes it that far. But I guess nobody does. Unless maybe they're in a group or something. you think it was? I don't know. I don't know. My uncle swore till the day he died that he saw a Sasquatch one time. Of course, he was also somebody that used to do drugs, so maybe he was high. Okay, what do you guys think? Should I turn back and go the other way? Or keep going? Gosh, why will these little legs not deploy back then? Okay, I don't think I forgot anything. Okay, we're gonna keep going north. It's only, what time is it? I could freaking read this with the sun. It's only like 11:40 right now. I just gotta make sure I remember to reapply my sunblock. You're supposed to reapply every 2-ish hours. So, gotta make sure I do that. I don't want no sunburn. These birds are like, what the heck is that? There's a human. Humans never come this far. What the heck? Get out of my yard, human. See that? That's what it just said. It didn't get me this time. I think it's been years since I've gotten any sun on my legs. Years. That's just more sand dunes. Supposedly there's like a tiny town up that way, up north, at the end of the beach. I guess if I make it that far, I'll find out. I am closer to those hills now than the hills that I came from. That didn't really make sense. I forgot to change my camera lead. Oh well. change in the sand texture now. I do think that's neat that the same beach can have multiple different sand textures. And if any of you decide to go to Pfeiffer Beach to check it out with its purple sand, because it's one of the few places in the world that does have purple sand, and it's awesome that it's actually available to Americans. When you look at the beach, okay, you see how there's these dark spots that like wind and water swept and they're cleared away. Those peaks, they will be purple. It's really cool that you can only see it at those places that are essentially undisturbed, that have been swept clean, basically. Or reset, whatever. I definitely should get back there. I should go back. For sure. And not take my mom this time, because when I went camping with her at Big Sur last time, it was the week before I started my current job. So that'll be 7 years ago in a couple months. Next month it'll be 7 years ago since I went camping there. I believe they've had a fire since then, so I'm not sure how much is open for camping. It might be closed, or no, it wasn't Big Sur that had the fire, it was Big Basin that had the fire. Big Basin was where the fire was. And they only just recently reopened after their fire. I never camped there. I wanted to. But I never got around to it. I don't think that Big Sur has had a fire since in the last 7 years. I don't think. But they did have part of Highway 1 collapse. Like, you know, only one lane left, basically. So that needed to be repaired, you know. Over here near the area where I'm camping now in Mendocino, part of Highway 1 collapsed. There's only one lane right now while they're working on repairing the bridge. It's these bridges that collapse, you know? So, yeah. Can't go camping at Big Sur till they have the highway repaired so that access is for more than just mandatory sort of access for the locals, the people that actually live there and need stuff, because I don't want to impact their, I don't need to add my footprint to theirs when they're already struggling. But then I also know that they really do depend on tourism, you know? So it definitely cuts both ways there. Huh. I can see individual trees. Can you see the trees too? No. The view in my phone is very different than the view that I am seeing right now. But I've been saying that all along. Yeah. We're back to the coarse sand now. The coarse sand, I think, is what is giving me my exfoliation. I can't help but think that once I get over there and make it to the hills, that there will probably be people. Maybe there will be people. There's supposedly a little town over there. I think the name of it is Inglebrook. I'm not sure. Maybe I already went by that. Yeah, I think I did. I think I already went by that. But there is supposed to be a little tiny town at the other end of the beach. On the way back, I'm just going to take the road rather than the beach, because while I do enjoy the ocean a lot, I'm just not the biggest fan of the sand. I think the sand is one of the things that almost everybody hates about the beach. They love the sand, but they hate to bring it back with them. Yep. What is that? That is a crab that met the wrong seagull. Oh, hey, look at that. I've got 5G. Wow. Okay. There's definitely a town. It's nice to have cell reception on the beach. That means there's definitely a town nearby here. So I've got like 4 bars right now. So there's a cell tower pretty close to here. see any other human footprints, though. Just birds. I'm sharing the beach with the birds. Okay. I do see a stream cutting down through the beach right here. I wonder if that is the river that I was supposed to expect. Here, take a look at it. What do you think? Do you think that's 10 Mile River? Or is it just runoff? I don't know. Maybe it's 10 Mile River. If it is, then we are now 10 miles north of Hawaii. River. I think maybe when we get to the hills over there is when we'll get to the river. Yeah. That is my opinion. see the cloud. But it's still... It's saying it's farther away than it is. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, I'm starting to see signs. I guess that means people do come to this part of the beach. So that's a good sign that I'm getting to the town and the road. But yet means it'll stop recording if I answer. I'll call her back. I'll call her back when I get to the little town. Or to the end of right here. Hates it. She absolutely hates it. When I camp anywhere that doesn't have really just phenomenal cell reception so that she can call me anytime she wants. She hates it. Every time I leave to go camping, she tells me she'll miss me, and she acts like she's gonna cry. And when I leave, I'm just glad to be going out to visit nature again. Even if it's gonna be raining. And it's nice to get a break from her and how much she needs me, to be honest. I admit, I do worry about if she's going to, when I get back home, if she's going to be okay or have suffered from a horrible fall while I was gone, you know? Man, my feet are still starting to actually hurt. That's what happens when you walk with no cushion. Gosh, I just feel like I'm not really getting any closer. But I am. As long as I stay in cell range so that I can call Mom. Yeah, I do still have cell reception. I've only got 3 bars now, though. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe I should stop recording so that I can check the map while I have reception. No, I'm in the middle of freaking nowhere at the beach. I don't know. I still haven't seen any freaking people in ages. It's been over an hour, I think, since I've even seen any other footprints than my own. The sand is nice and warm now that I'm not on the freaking hard-packed stuff. It's warm and soft. That's nice. It's harder to walk through, though. never actually walked this beach before. I never have. Should have worn my swim pants. Oh well. Huh. Here is another water outlet stream. I'm really curious. Interesting. And this is the end of almost every river. So ends a mighty river. Not that I even know what river it is. Down to 2 bars. So, I think in the distance I can see that there's a house on the hill, so in theory there's gonna be a town with convenient things like a bathroom. In theory, maybe. Not that I can't just go behind a pile of driftwood if necessary. In theory, I'm getting closer to the hill. It sure doesn't freaking look like it. I know that the hike from one end of the beach to the other, or maybe it's from McCarricker State Park to the end of the beach, is 3.5 miles. next to a set of footprints. Neato. That is a sign of people. Yep. Can't believe I didn't even notice those. They're walking back barefoot too. Farther ahead. I figured the cell coverage must mean that, but you never know till you see signs of humanity. Passing overhead. Passing like really low overhead too. My goodness. You see the shadows from the clouds? Over the dunes just to see if I can see anything. I may as well. that is? That's like seaweed that's washed up on shore and dried out. I have a feeling that I'm going to get up here to the top of the sand dunes and there ain't going to be nothing but more sand dunes. Bottle cap. I'll take that and put it in my bag. So that I'm at least a piece of that that somebody will touch. Let's see. Huh. I was right. Get up to the top, and there's nothing but more sand dunes. Oh, goodness. Yep. And now I've got to go pee. Okay. Well, nobody can see me, so I'm going to set the phone down and do that. Okay, let's go back down this way since there's nothing to see up here but more sand dunes. And I can tell you, it is not pleasant walking through the sand dunes. It's better to just go on the beach where everything will be pretty flat. Because once you're walking on the dunes, you're dealing with constantly walking uphill and then downhill and then uphill and then downhill, all with footing that is constantly shifting and not being stable. So definitely better to just walk on the beach. Okay, so there is... Okay, I think maybe these footprints here might be from yesterday. I don't know. I mean, it is pretty windy, so maybe they're from yesterday. Maybe they're from early this morning. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna walk closer to the ocean itself just so that the ground is a little more packed. Because that's easier to walk on. I'm currently walking in the cloud. Not that you can really tell. On this camera, you can. Interesting. Very interesting. So the selfie part is more what I'm actually seeing. And summer, when the clouds go away, after a little while, I start telling the sky, I miss you, clouds. But yeah, they were out for a walk, not a run. Their strides would be farther paced apart if they were out for a run, in theory. Right off the ocean. Makes sense for it to be cold. Yeah, 2 bars. So there is still a cell tower nearby. So I didn't somehow manage to walk right past wherever the township is. Because the cell tower will be wherever that little town is. I know cell towers do have fluctuations. So sometimes you have reception and sometimes you don't. But in theory, so long as I have reception, I can count on the fact I haven't gone past the town. In theory. Pretty sure it's at the end of the beach. At the end of the dunes, or wherever the river comes out. And I think it'll be more of a river scenario than those 2 streams that we've gone by. Maybe. I don't know. Although I guess you could call it fog. It was pretty neat walking right up to the cloud bank, that it was just staying put, looking like a cloud in the distance until we were in it. But we couldn't see it before. So let's see. Yeah, it just disappears on this other camera. That's so funny. walking over the sand and you can feel yourself breaking the crust of the sand. It's so neat. I hope my mom's not too worried because I didn't answer her call. How the hell is the freaking hill that I was walking towards? Maybe I walked by it. I don't know. I can't see anything to my right except for sand dunes and fog. Maybe I should get out my binocular and see if I can see anything. Got my binocular so I can, oh shoot, got sand in my shoes from the way that I set my thing down once. There we go. Okay. Sand inside of any of my thingies because I really don't want the glass to be scratched. All that blowing on it, I fogged it up. Anything. But I don't, I've got strong doubts my monocular can see through fog either. It was worth a shot, just to see. the hill that I was looking at in the distance earlier that was basically next to the cloud. We're in the cloud now, so it would make sense that the hill is right there. Maybe I should hang up with you guys and check my map. Find out how close I am to anything. You know, I think I'll do that. I'll see you guys later when I get this figured out. Bye now. One last view of the Pacific Ocean before I go. See you guys soon.